bright yellow dress that I had bought only just a week before. My lady looked so much more older and mature. Then I am completely satisfied. I'll be happy to start the preparations. If I pour the water in right now, it won't be as hot when we have finished with the brushing. I will make sure the water does not get too cold, my lady. It is quite nice to have the bath around the hearth for a change, isn't it? When my lady asked me to draw a bath in front of the fire this morning, I could not wait to get it done as soon as possible, since my lady has not asked me for much this past week. I was really getting to be worried if something had been bothering my lady, and I was hoping the visit to Mrs. Beecher was not the reason for your sudden quiet disposition. Is that so? If that is the case, then my heart feels more at ease. No need to apologize, my lady. After all, my lady has so much on her plate already. I can't help but wonder how you were able to take everything in with such grace all the time. I have to admit, I did entertain the thought of being a lady of a great house myself once, and I could not help but see myself torturing everyone and everything around me due to all the stress that would inevitably fall upon me. I would indeed make such a mess. No person with a soul would be willingly waiting to serve me at the end of the day, I'm sure of it. But thankfully, since my lady is not like me in that respect, we are all here to serve with a happy heart. Of course, my lady is the sweetest person I have ever met. Maybe that is why I took such a liking to you. Although my lady first saw me when Miss Pattinson introduced me to you in the main hall last winter, my first sight of you was at the 4th Flower Parade 5 years ago. My sister and a couple of her girlfriends took me along to see the parade for the first time that year. Everyone was so excited to see the massive floor decorations. We've only ever seen them on the telly. I don't know why we had not been to the actual parade until then. My family's house is only about 40 minutes away. Anyhow, my lady could only imagine our excitement when we actually decided to go see it for ourselves that day. Everyone wore their best outfits, all the while practicing how to pose in front of the cameras. I remember what I had on that day, a bright yellow dress that I had bought only just a week before. I wanted to stand out from the crowd since most people seemed to favour wearing lots of pinks and reds. I figured if I wore yellow, I would be easier to spot if the cameras were to come my way. Not only that, but the real reason I was so excited to go was because the Duke of Wendell was to speak during the opening ceremony. All the girls around me, including my sister and her friends, were very vocal about seeing him, but I decided to keep my admiration for him a secret. I didn't want anyone to know. I was too shy to admit it. Nevertheless, I was determined to see him with my own eyes that day, and it made me feel giddy. We left extra early that morning. I don't even think I was able to sleep the night before. All I remember was lying down in my bed and staring up at the ceiling until I saw the sun peeking through my window. Getting there early has its benefits, I have to say. We got there before it got crowded and were able to find a good spot to see all the wonderful moving creations. My favourite was the one that looked like a dinosaur, all made of white roses. It looked so majestic. I still have a Polaroid of it somewhere in my room back home. When the first part of the parade ended and the Duke began his speech was when I first saw my lady on the stage behind him. My lady, you were in this gorgeous emerald green silk dress with lacing, and I thought that I've never seen before someone so up and proper sat in a chair like you were that day. Even though my lady and I are of the same age, my lady looked so much more older and mature. I believe it was in the way you carried yourself. And I know that everyone else there all took notice. One of my sister's close friends that came with us even became a fan of you. Even the Duke couldn't stop staring at my lady. My lady made him speechless, as lovely as you looked that day. And I cannot even be jealous about it either. Whoever could have thought we would meet again 5 years later? My lady could never have been able to imagine the excitement I felt when I was told of my opportunity to serve at the Benetton estate. The fact that I knew that I could be of service to you and your family made me so very happy. My mother said it would be good for me, since she always told me that the one thing I thrived at was helping her with the housework. But it's definitely not like that at all. It's so much more than that. I love being able to help and prepare my lady in everything you do, so that my lady can always be at her utmost best, whether that be in making my lady pretty or cleaning, helping my lady relax, or answering a nagging thought in my lady's head. It all means a lot to me when I can serve such a kind person with everything I can. Not to mention all the lovely friends I've made while being here. And we both have become so close, haven't we? I was so afraid that my lady might not like me when I came here. I always think that way in front of every new person I meet. I can't help it. But my lady, you took me in with such warmth and kindness. Since my first day, I've never felt I was away from home. My lady exceeded all my expectations. My lady is more kinder than I thought, full of more grace and respect towards others than I ever thought was humanly possible. Not to mention unbelievably smart. I still can't believe my lady read all the books in the main library. The room is so massive. Even if I was to get paid to read all the books, I would not be able to. If I was made to read like my lady was when she was younger, I would have just pretended or skipped through many pages altogether just so I could do whatever I wanted to do afterwards. But my lady is an honest lady, so you would not have done it so. Oh yes. Funny how I tell my lady how much I fancied the dude back then. It is a fun memory to look back on. He is now married, of course, to the lovely, beautiful Lady Sophie, who's expecting now, and I could not be more excited for them. Did you know that she is an amazing equestrian? She went to the same university as my sister, and she told me of how breathtaking she was to Lady Sophie during the dressage competition. My sister insists that the day of the competition was the day the Duke saw and fell in love with Lady Sophie. Oh, how romantic. I do believe it to be true as well. My lady, you should invite her for tea one day. I'm sure the two of you would be great friends. Surely she would be able to give sound advice regarding married life, since I will not be able to help my lady in that department. Perhaps she knows a couple of friends of the Duke's that are bachelors that she's met before. There would surely be a wonderful match to be made for you, my lady. Unless, of course, my lady has not already told me of a boy that she fancies at the moment. I know my lady enjoys reading a lot of romance novels, but I rarely do hear about any of the boys you meet that also attend the academy. My lady is friends with Lady Cow's brother, are you not? Does my lady not see him as a potential suitor, perhaps? Oh, forgive me for saying so. I did not know he had a significant other. No, this mouth of mine. Well, that is a sharing. But wouldn't it have been so awful if that was to be true? The amount of anguish my lady would be in, especially knowing how much my lady cries whenever a heroine in one of your novels gets heartbroken over her lover. Surely the hurt is greatly exaggerated, but also the same could be said of the romance as well. Either way, I hope my lady knows not to don on rose-petal glasses. In my experience, the people around me, it doesn't seem to be as, what should I call it, thrilling. It would be far better to focus on the foundations of everlasting love than infatuated feelings, my lady. That is not to say that you should drop the romance books, my lady. Actually, I was thinking maybe if my lady would entertain the idea of starting a book club. A book club exclusively for romance books or anything that my lady is interested in, really. I'm sure my lady will be able to find lots of other ladies at the academy that will want to attend. I can even think of some ladies at the moment right now. Maybe Lady Aaron or Lady Alyssa. I heard them talk about their future husbands. Yes, quite often and quite loud. I'm quite sure that my lady would have lots of fun starting this book club. All the ladies could read aloud to one another. One lady could be picked to read the main story, while every other lady could read the dialogues from each different character. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. A great number of characters voiced by different ladies around the room. My lady, you can even showcase your voice acting abilities. I've heard it. The many different voices my lady uses to speak to her younger cousins when they come to visit. I can imagine their faces when they find this secret talent of yours. My lady could even go into voice acting if you wanted to. I would be your #1 fan. Then I am completely satisfied. I'll be happy to start the preparations. My lady makes sure to stick to her decisions, and I know, my lady, that you are always responsible for whatever you do, even if at the end of the day, whatever choice you made may not have gone as thought. Whatever my lady sets her heart on, I will have to say, most of the time, it is less about the talent, but more about the effort you put in, and I know, my lady, you will do your utter best at everything. It makes me want to do the best that I can do as well. And the better that I can do in serving my lady will give me one of the most greatest joys in the world. So, if there's anything else that I can help my lady with or make things easier, always let me know. I'm all ears. I know my lady loves being in the water for a long time, but you mustn't for too long. It would be bad for my lady's skin. All right? Well then, soak in for a little longer, my lady. I'll go get the chest ready.